Hi, I'm George Stimson, and I welcome you to the Goodbye Helter Skelter podcast, Live 2, Addendum. I'm talking about blood flow from human bodies after death. When a person dies and their heart stops beating, blood is no longer being pumped, and so it stops spurting out of the body or bleeding. And a body would for sure not be bleeding an hour and a half after death, which is the shortest amount of time someone could have gotten from Spahns Ranch to Cielo Drive to move the bodies, given that it would have taken at least a half an hour to get from Cielo to Spahns, allow a half hour for whoever went to Cielo to get ready to go, and another half hour to get to Cielo Drive. So after an hour and a half, you might get blood smudges if you brushed a bloody body against a wall or a piece of furniture, but you would not get blood drips, splatters, and certainly not a pool. Another factor arguing against the movement of bodies in an hour and a half after death is the phenomenon known as livor mortis. When a person dies and their heart stops beating, blood stops flowing through the blood vessels and begins to be pulled down to the lowest extremities of the body by gravity. This process is called livor mortis, and it begins at about 20 to 30 minutes after the heart stops beating. After a few hours, enough blood has reached the lower extremities that the skin is a discolored red or purple caused by the pooled blood in the body. This phenomenon is called lividity. Lividity is a good indicator of the position of a body from about 20 to 30 minutes after death. In this case, Sharon Tate Polanski has lividity on her upper left head and inner right thigh. In the death scene photos, you can see that her head is on the floor, lower than most of the rest of her body, and this accounts for the discoloration on her upper left head. In addition, her right inner thigh is slung over her left leg at an angle that would allow for a post-mortem blood flow to the spot indicated on the autopsy diagram. With Jay Sebring, his body exhibited lividity on the right side of his head and on his body from the right neck to the right groin. This is exactly where you would expect to see lividity on a body in the position of Sebring's in the death scene photos. What this means is that, Patricia Krenwinkel's memory notwithstanding, the bodies of Sharon Tate Polanski and Jay Sebring are in the same positions in the death scene photos as they were in 20 to 30 minutes after death. They were not moved. You can now go back and watch the rest of the original podcast.